Happy Monday, brother.
Oh, yes, it's Monday. Right. 3 hours in, I feel
We're
like I've done a few days.
right? I know, me too. I just skimmed today's and I'm like, oh, yay, it's short. And I'm like, but oh man, is it meaty? 3 sentences. And it's like, whoo.
Well, let's get to it. Why don't you start us off?
Okay. Under the circumstances, everyone is always doing their best. Given their situation, priorities, and awareness, the circumstances, people make choices. If we want to change how others respond, we need to change their circumstances and how they see their options.
Mic drop,
Yeah.
done, period.
Well, it
Um,
also feels, I feel overwhelmed with
Implications.
uh, yeah, we need to change their circumstances and how they see their options.
That right, right, where to begin on what word choice that he made here. Speaking of people making
Mhm.
choices, I feel like there was a choice to write this and a choice to use certain what are the right grammatical uh very yeah, whatever there's no beating around the bush. We need to change their circumstance. It's like, wow, very directive. um
Mhm.
so I think in reading this, let's just go back and start at the first sentence, which, by the way, for the person listening, this first "everyone is always doing their best" is in italics. It's italicized. It's in italics. And so I'm not 100% sure like why that is, if he like heard this statement and he wanted to like riff on it for two very power packed sentences, or if he's stating, look, everyone's doing their is always doing their best. My initial gut response, first read through this morning, was cynicism, if I'm honest, and
Mhm.
kind of a question of like, I mean, are you sure? Like, and then like all these questions around the word choice, like their best, do they know what their best? And I think that's kind of getting to the point, but like, and it's a blanket statement, which I tend to like, gut response I tend to either balk against or try not to use in my own like language, is these blanket statements that, I mean, everyone on the planet that has ever existed, you're saying everyone is always, as in not never but always, forever doing their best, as in the best that's possible, nothing but the best. Like, it's like you have a blanket statement with like three words that are everyone, always, and best. That I just like, something in me was like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Because, and I think, and I'll toss it over to you. I think probably, if I'm honest, is because I wonder if I feel like I'm always doing my best. So how can that be true if I'm part of everyone and I don't know that I'm always doing my best? So there you go.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm reading The Gift of Imperfections by Brene Brown, and there's a part in there where she says, I'm probably going to get it exactly wrong, like the exact thing wrong, but it's like, our judgment of others often comes from the guilt we feel ourselves. So that's what I'm hearing you say is when you hear everyone's doing their best, you're judging like, no, because all these other people, this person and this person and this person, they're not doing their best. And we judge people because we feel guilty, like what you're saying, like you're questioning, well, I don't always do my best. So how could, and I might feel guilty about that. So how could everyone always be doing their best?
Mm,
And that has stuck with me lately of like the areas in life where I judge people. I'm like, oh, actually, if I look in the mirror, me judging them is my own reflection of something on me that I don't like,
yeah.
that I'm feeling guilty for. Um, I like this mindset because it has really helped me have empathy as someone who is extremely hard on themselves. And I actually do think I'm always like, I mean, I can't say always, but 99.99999% of the time, I am doing my best, even in
Okay.
times where I shouldn't be doing my best.
Interesting. Yeah.
And so I have learned that I try to when I feel upset or frustrated with others, what I try to take a deep breath through, and this is like through years of lots of therapy and coaching, is going, you know what? Maybe they're just doing their best. and it helps me have a lot of empathy for people. So maybe they don't have the tools or resources or experience or capacity to do anything better than they currently are. And that doesn't mean that that there's not consequences,
Right.
um, or that I'm not a, wet blanket to them or a doormat or whatever analogy you want to use. Probably doormat was better than wet blanket. Or set boundaries, which I don't love the word boundaries, but that's a story for another day. But like, it's not to say that we just let them get away with things.
Uh-huh.
But I do find it helpful when I want to just like go point my finger and go, you know better, and that wasn't good enough, and why did you do that? And da 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 da, all the accusatory things that are happening in my head.
Yeah.
I find that if I take a deep breath and go, maybe they're just doing my best, it's a lot easier for me to go about my day.
Yeah. And I feel like raising children will also really help shape this cuz a reactionary instead of being responsive and responding well, a reactive cuz like when you're tired or stressed, the guilt of like, man, I snapped and it's just because he's 6 and it's just because it's rainy and we haven't been outside to run him down, like just let him run around and I snapped and like to be the cooler me says, dude, he's just being a kid. He's just doing his best. Like he doesn't know why he feels like bouncing off the walls or being super loud right now. It's because he hasn't had a chance to go like get it out. Or whatever. Like use every single
Mhm.
day about once an hour or better as an example. Um, so let's get to probably what you've pointed out. So on my better days, I'm totally with you in what you just
Mm.
said. Now, we need to change their circumstances. That's also a big phrase. Um,
Which is funny because a lot of, like, and this is where it's like, are we talking about business or relationships? Because a lot of like, therapists would say, "You can't change anyone's circumstances. Like, there's nothing you can do to change anyone else. You have to focus on what you can control." And where we have things like codependency or unhealthy relationships is when we are trying to change other people's circumstances. And that is where it gets unhealthy because we can't. All we can do is focus on our responses, our circumstances, etc. So I don't know. Yeah, this is hard for me. I don't like it's like I almost am like, I don't know that I agree with him, but I do feel like there's probably something bigger here that I'm missing.
well, and it's what's the we? Is we like you, Holly? You need to change there, whoever you're imagining is there, or is this like the cultural we? Like we as humanity need to work together to help change their circumstances. So pick a there in your mind. Is it well that individual or even group needs education, or
Mhm.
that individual or group needs space and an environment where they can feel heard. Is it
Or a place at the table or representation or,
yes,
yeah, better healthcare or income opportunities or freaking clean water or I mean,
right.
yeah. Yeah. This is a huge one.
It's huge.
I wish I could interview Seth on this one
Yeah.
because, um, I it's like, man, yeah, I do agree, like, there are some really big things. Um, like, let's take clean water, for example. I sent this to you on Instagram. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw it yet,
I
but, yeah, so Scott Harrison, who, from a business marketing brand perspective is, has proven himself just over and over again, which side note, I will say a lot of his success is shout out to his wife, Victoria, who is a genius and was a part of Charity Water from the very beginning and really did a lot of the like branding and messaging that it's famous for was a lot of her brain, but you don't hear as much about her, but she's awesome and you can follow her on Instagram. Victoria Harrison. But they just launched their like kind of more transparency model, which the name waterproof,
I
like,
just
so
ah,
good,
why all the home runs for one? Like, how are you guys? Yes,
so good.
so good.
Yeah, so, like, I think about something like that where what I love about what Scott did for water is, like, made it feel like we actually can solve it. Like, to think about this huge, daunting problem in the world, he was able to articulate it in a way that made it feel like if I give my, even if it's like $10 a month, that I can be a real part of of solving this problem. And now with waterproof that they just launched, it's like that on steroids using AI to feed us, showing where our money is going and the stories and the data and all of that.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, with that I'm like, okay, that feels like that is a problem that we can solve because someone like Scott did the work to figure out how do we actually solve it, and then now how do we make it that simple for people to take one step towards solving it, to be able to change people's circumstances so that they have more options. Um, so yeah, but I don't, yeah. So how
Yeah,
can we do that more?
yeah. If you're a nonprofit leader, especially, and you don't already know, which I'm like, how would you not? But I mean, sorry, no judgment. You're doing your best. If you're a nonprofit leader and you're just doing your best, but you have not heard of Scott Harrison and Victoria Harrison at Charity Water, please go stalk them, follow them. They have for I think a couple decades now just been not just thinking outside the box, but building new models of nonprofit funding and just all kinds of cool stuff outside the box for years. And you think, Holly, like I love branding and naming conversations. Like it's so fun. I just like with a name like Waterproof, I thought the same thing. I was like, they're sitting there and what I imagine probably digital, but like would be like the conference room and there's just like talking about it to try to find a name. And it's like, we want to prove to our donors that every dollar and like, somebody in the room, let's give the credit to like in the narrative to like an intern or something. And they're like just kind of messing with a pen and they're like, huh, waterproof. Like, I just imagine at that moment, everyone would just like, okay, everyone just lay down on the ground and cry and giggle and like laugh, like because perfection just happened. And like to just feel the joy of that. I'm
Seriously,
just like,
I
it's
know.
too perfect.
Yeah. I'm gonna message her on Instagram and ask her if she'll like share with us how maybe she can come on the podcast and share with us how that name came to be because it's amazing. I saw it and I was like, of course you guys did it.
Yeah, same, same.
Oh, so good. All right. Well, there's our big challenge from Seth Godin today. How can we be a part of helping change people's circumstances so that they see more options and so that they can respond differently? And I think to your point, Daniel, thinking about even the choice of his words of response versus react. Um, if we want to change how others respond, it's so good. So anyway, I do want to do a shout out to Daniel. We just launched, dropped the first episode today of Get
Yes.
Mom Ready, which is our second to Seth Said What production of the Ready Network from a podcast perspective. So for all you moms out there, go to getmomready.com. And if you're not a mom, share it with a mom. I share in the first episode, it's me sharing my story to motherhood, very vulnerable. I tell the whole thing about my miscarriages and my, work life and all the things. So check it out at getmomready.com. You can subscribe, like, comment, share, all the things that help us keep doing what we're doing.
Right. It's awesome. Go Holly. Go Ready Network. Go moms.
Go moms. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Holly.